Toxic risk in our backyard, pollution and celery bog in Lake Michigan. You don't have to overexert yourself to find pollution. Oftentimes it's a lot closer to you than you might think. Today we are going to take a look at pollution in the celery bog located in West Lafayette, Indiana, as well as Lake Michigan, more specifically around Michigan City, Indiana. Both Celery Bog and Lake Michigan harbor beautiful ecosystems that many locals and tourists enjoy. However, both are under a serious threat: water pollution. Not only does water pollution harm the plants and animals, it compromises the fertility of our soil, our water sources, and the future of these vibrant natural areas. Let's break down what's happening and why it matters, and what we can do about it. First, let's examine the celery bog. The celery bog is a well-known wetland located just outside of Purdue's campus. According to an article posted by Home of Purdue, the celery bog is home to animals such as coyotes, rabbits, possums, over 120 species of birds and other small mammals, as well as amphibians drawn to the wetland. The celery bog's name derived from being a large vegetable farm for most of the 20th century. Home of Purdue says the vegetables grown there consisted of onions, carrots, tomatoes, potatoes, green beans, peas, cabbage, and of course, celery. They supplied fresh produce to over 80 groceries in the region. Underneath all of this natural beauty, pollution and urban runoff is taking a toll on the bog that we all know and love. According to Purdue's Department of Agronomy, runoff from the surrounding urban areas and farmland brings unwanted and harmful fertilizers, oil, and trash directly into the bog. The nutrient overload leads to harmful algae blooms that damage the ecosystem. Eventually, the bog won't be able to naturally filter and clean water, putting nearby waterways at a bigger risk. A large amount of this problem stems from actions that are easily preventable by each and every one of us. Actions such as littering, overusing various pesticides, and even dumping lawn clippings into drains are major contributors to this problem. According to an article posted by the World Wildlife Foundation, the loss of fertile soil makes land less productive for agriculture, creates new deserts, pollutes waterways, and can alter how water flows through the landscape, potentially making flooding more common. This highlights how pollution in the celery bog affects more than just the bog itself. It causes a chain reaction that disrupts and harms farming, increases our likelihood of flooding, and damages our water quality beyond West Lafayette. Allowing these pollutants to flow through the bog endangers not only the local ecosystems, but puts the future of the bog at risk. The importance in taking steps to protect the celery bog expands beyond just wanting to preserve a piece of nature that we enjoy. It's about protecting the future of the bog, ecosystem, and the natural resources that we heavily rely on.
While the celery bog has its own problems, Lake Michigan is dealing with an equally serious threat. Microplastics, defined as plastic particles less than 5 millimeters in size, according to Thompson, are extremely prevalent in Lake Michigan. A study published on Science Direct found that roughly 1 billion plastic particles are floating on the surface of Lake Michigan, averaging about 17,000 pieces per square kilometer, says Hawaiian. With most of these plastics being smaller than 1 millimeter, they are easily ingested by fish and other local wildlife, which compromises the health of the ecosystem. Beyond plastics, industrial pollution is another massive threat. In 2022, U.S. Steel succumbed to a $3 million lawsuit after being caught dumping hazardous chemicals such as hexavalent chromium into a Lake Michigan tributary, says the Chicago Tribune. In 2024, numerous beaches near Michigan City, Indiana were forced to close down due to an E. coli outbreak after stormwater runoff overwhelmed the system. People who swam in the contaminated waters reported skin rashes and infections. Corporations and communities failing to manage pollution not only harms the environment, it directly impacts our health. The environmental and human health impacts of water pollution are deeply intertwined. When wetlands like the celery bog no longer have the ability to filter out pollutants, rivers and lakes connected suffer. This leads to an unwanted and harmful chain reaction. Watersheds, an area where all surface water eventually drains to, becoming polluted leads to fish populations dying, damaged ecosystems, and the opportunity for swimming, fishing, and even hiking to dwindle. Research from Purdue's roadkill study shows that human development largely disrupts animals' means of survival across Indiana. Across a 17-month-long study done by Andrew DeWitty, the researcher found 10,500 dead animals along 11 miles of roads. Of those, 7,600 were frogs of unidentifiable species, and another 1,700 were bullfrogs, said DeWitty, an associate professor of forestry and natural resources. This goes to show how pollution, paired with growing urban areas, leads to damaging effects in ecosystems, hinders the animals' means of survival, and the loss of natural water filtration. This same ripple effect is seen in Lake Michigan as plastic pollution and industrial runoff is creating long-term consequences. With the billions of microplastic particles floating on the surface of the lake, as well as plastic pollution along the beaches, the overall health of the lake and everyone that depends on its resources is at risk. These particles are ingested by fish, birds, and even humans swimming in the lake. This severe problem isn't just for everyone to pawn off on scientists or policymakers. There are ways we can help solve this issue, but it takes a contribution of everyone. We can take steps to aid this problem by reducing plastic use, picking up any litter we may see at the beaches or along the bog, and being more mindful of how many pesticides we are using. Supporting environmental groups such as Alliance for the Great Lakes and the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation, whom are working toward making these natural areas pure and clean, would make a difference. Otherwise, we can help combat this issue could be advocating for more strict pollution regulations and not holding only corporations, but each other accountable. Change will come if we unite together to fight this issue. The Celery Bog and Lake Michigan are more than just natural landmarks. They are vital lifelines for water quality, biodiversity, and a place that allows people to come together to enjoy nature. By understanding the cause and effect of pollution, we are able to take measurable steps to prevent these negative outcomes and can protect these beautiful ecosystems to ensure they can continue to thrive for future generations. Thank you for watching. Check out the links below to learn more about how you can get involved and help make an impact. Remember, protecting our environment starts with you.